with business to business, it's all numbers, right? And if the numbers work and you're able to fulfill the promise of your product, you're good. But when it comes to consumer, there's so much emotion behind it. And I think that was the part I actually enjoyed the most, to see how someone could come in, let's say from an open house, not knowing much, confused like every single person that would buy a house, and to be able to help provide a calm for them, value and help, to the point where they would start trusting you in how you're guiding them, and seeing that relationship grow, that was very fulfilling for me.
I'm Mike Grambow with JMJ Financial, and welcome to the Mortgage Lounge. Today we have Winston Yeh. He's a top producing realtor on the Sackin Stone Team here in Huntington Beach, which is one of the top teams in the area. He's been in the business since 2022 and has recorded over 37 transactions to date, which is great for such a short amount of time, especially in that period. So welcome, Winston.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, of course. You want to start by just give us a bit about your background, where you're from, who you are?
Yeah, so born and raised in Long Beach. Before I got in the industry, I was working with my family. So long story short, we had a wedding gown company. We manufacture, produce, design wedding dresses. We sold business to business. So I was always in sales.
Okay.
I took care of a lot of the production, a lot of the design. And towards the last probably like 6-7 years, I started taking care of all of the US sales. I had sales reps go out, I managed them, and essentially made sure all the numbers were good. And then from there, took over Canada and Australia. So things were great, but it got a little boring. I wanted a switch. So I've always invested into real estate. So I figure, why not change my 9 to 5 from selling wedding dresses and designing them to homes? Called a few buddies for the recommendations, buddies that's been in the industry for like 20 plus years. And I think the first thing they said, mind you, this was like mid-COVID. Mind you, the first thing they said was, "What are you doing? Like, right? Are you sure?" Like, they both told me not to do it, but just had this gut feeling that it was going to be good. So took my license, got everything good, passed the exam, and the first thing I did was I looked for teams. I knew at that time I wasn't a young man anymore, I guess you can say. I had a family, I had 2 mouths to feed. I needed to get in the industry. I needed to dive into the deep end of the pool to really just get going. So I did some research, found some great teams. Ended up going with 2 teams at the end. That was debating in between. It was one from Long Beach and, well, my team now, the Sackin Stone Team here in 7 Gate was real estate. It just felt good. I think when I met with Lane Stone and some of the founding members, everything just felt like a good fit. It felt very comfortable. I think that's the best way to explain it. So I signed with them, and you know what? I've been very lucky and blessed. Been great support, great team members, great team lead, and you know, I've been producing ever since.
Nice. That's definitely a reoccurring theme in the studio of joining a team that can support you and getting you off the ground early. So it's
well, I mean, the way I looked at it, right, is I was always known as the wedding dress guy. So if a guy could, being myself, I probably knew more about dresses than 99% of the females I come across. If I can break down how a dress was sewn, the materials, the fabrics, the silhouettes, and how it can accentuate certain body types and make you look beautiful on your day of, I'm pretty sure I can do the same thing with the house. So I knew I just needed to learn all of the basics in a sense, and then really just get my reps in. Being around people, talking, speaking, touring homes with people, and, you know, just fine crafting the skill set.
Yeah. Very similar to you, because I was in manufacturing before getting into real estate. And when I started telling friends, they were like, "Why are you doing that? Like, you're a manufacturing guy, right?" And it was also business to business. So that was a big learning curve for me, was learning how to talk to a consumer, because it's very, very different. But there's definitely some transferable skills. You just need to learn how the actual industry works, some of the ins and outs of that.
Correct. I couldn't agree more, because I think with business to business, it's all numbers, right? And if the numbers work and you're able to fulfill the promise of your product, you're good. But when it comes to consumer, there's so much emotion behind it. And I think that was the part I actually enjoyed the most, to
Mhm.
see how someone could come in, let's say from an open house, not knowing much, confused like every single person that would buy a house,
Mhm.
and to be able to help provide a calm for them, value and help to the point where they would start trusting you in how you're guiding them, and seeing that relationship grow, that was very fulfilling for me.
Mhm.
I touched base with all my past clients, and I love bringing this story up. Met this young couple. I think this was my within my first year of real estate, and they didn't know what to do. They just got married, so according to life, right, the next step is to buy a house, and when you buy a house, then you have kids. So going through that journey with them, kind of helping them find a home they can grow their family in, was interesting. And myself at the time, being a new parent, I was able to provide a lot of insights of like visually or line of sight, right? Because I mean, you're a
Mhm.
parent, you don't want to turn around, cook something, turn around, and all of a sudden your boys are gone, right?
Right.
It's always you're trying to do something where your point of view, you have locations on your kids, the crazy one and the good one.
Yeah.
So I think being able to present those type of items to them, providing value, was really helpful. And then fast forward to last November, I had a luncheon, like a client appreciation, brought everyone in. It was really cool to kind of see them with their kid because they had a kid, and then they're pregnant with their second one, to kind of just embrace and bargain, kind of enjoy the moment of kind of what happened.
Yeah.
And I think that was very fulfilling, not just for myself, but just to kind of see this kind of go full circle in a sense.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The emotional part, you talk about going business to consumer,
yeah,
I've definitely seen. One of the hard things for me was when you're business to business, the person on the other side speaks your language. If I'm
yeah,
in sales, I'm usually working with a professional buyer, and we both do this every day.
yeah.
When you're working at the consumer, they have no idea what jargon and things you're working with. So that was a huge learning curve for me.
Agree. And but see, I kind of like that challenge, right? And I'm sure, especially for you guys on the lending side, you're going to deal with it a lot more. Business is business, simple, right? There's numbers, there's analytics, and you base everything off of that. It's the same language, like you mentioned. But I realized when you work with the end user, the consumer, you'll come across people that are how they were when we work business to business, but then you deal with individuals that are, let's say, either engineers, doctors, or artists, or just how they process items and information is different. So when that happens, I love being able to ask more questions about my clients to learn more about them. Because when I can understand how the train of thought kind of works, I present my information differently to them,
Yeah.
right? If I'm working with an engineer, I will create everything with numbers and net sheets and provide it to them so they see everything. But if I'm dealing with someone that's more on the creative end that needs to see things visually, I bring them to all of these staging consults. I bring them to see all the different types of architecture of homes in certain areas. So when they're able to take everything in, it's
Mhm.
easier for them to make a decision,
Yeah.
or vice versa.
Yeah,
So
the personality assessments are interesting because you see in lifetime how true it is for some
yeah.
people. Like there's the information gatherers and people that are just on emotion. I'm curious. So in real estate, we say there's the 5 Ds, and I can't name them all, but it's
Uh-huh.
like diapers, diplomas, diamonds,
Done.
divorce. So
Death.
diamonds is one of them, and the 5 Ds are times in your life where it's natural to buy real estate because there's some type of life change that's spurring a moment for you to need to have a different housing situation. So
Correct.
diamonds is one of them. So I'm curious if your background in the wedding industry was able to translate, if you were able to leverage that at all, because I tried
Uh-huh.
and it didn't work, but I also wasn't in it. So
It's I wouldn't say the only thing I was able to leverage was really the people skills
mhm.
and being able to utilize what I've learned dealing with the business owners and converting that to utilizing the same skill set dealing with consumers.
Mhm.
The funny thing is when I was in the wedding gown industry, say yes to the dress was the biggest show ever. So that was always a catchphrase. And when I got into real estate, selling sunset was like the biggest show ever. And it's funny. So I'll tell people I went from say yes to the dress to say yes to the address.
Yeah.
Right. And it's always interesting when I tell people what I used to do in the past because they would never expect it,
Right.
So But yeah, that's probably the most correlation I can get
Yeah.
from the old business to the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the best built-in tagline probably ever. So you got that going for you for sure.
I should trademark it or something.
Yeah. So when you're working with people, what do you say to people that's just the first step? I think that a lot of people just have a hard time getting started, right? So whether it's just something mentally they need to do, or if it is someone they got to call or research, what's the first thing to do?
So if I meet, let's say you had a referral for me and I meet them, the first thing I tell them is, look, I know this is overwhelming, so let's take our time and I'll be very upfront with you. I don't care if you buy it now. I don't care if you buy it a year, 2 years from now. My main goal right now is to help and provide value to you and educate you through the entire process.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you lay down that entire foundation of, I'm just here to help and I want to make sure that I can align myself to whatever goals the client has,
Mm-hmm.
it really knocks down a lot of the unnecessary stereotypes that unfortunately a lot of people get within the industry,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm not salesy. I'm not a hard sell. I don't push people to it. I focus more on relationships. So for me, probably a dumb practice, but after like the buyer consult, you'll always help you'll hear me always say, hey, look, Mike, it was lovely like talking to you. And honestly, I would love the opportunity to work with you. I felt like we built a really good relationship here. But honestly, I think you should also interview other realtors because this is going to be a person you're going to work with very closely. So you got to make sure you like them. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoy our conversation, but I feel it wouldn't be fair if you didn't also interview other people to see who's the best fit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having a dialogue like that or some type of message like that has really helped. And I do mean it. I mean, because what are the chances of me having a brand new client going to one weekend's open houses and writing an offer? No, it's weeks or months or years in the making sometimes. So I always want to make sure that the client that is working with me wants to work with me.
Mm-hmm.
And we set a solid foundation on ensuring that moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that you came from the wedding industry, that you advise people to go on more than one date. So I think that jives. You talk about some of the stereotypes in real estate. What do you think when you meet with either a buyer or a seller, just one of the biggest misconceptions is?
Oh, we're hard sells. We don't care about anything. We care about commission.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, right? And look, there's bad apples in every industry, but I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of great realtors. I think out of all my transactions, maybe there was one, but I feel like that one individual was so far removed from it during the entire process. I don't really blame him, and he was a bit of more old school, but I think there's a lot of great realtors out here, and I think a lot of them have the same mindset. It's just wanting to provide value and help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you know what? There's always unfortunate, items in every single business, and we have certain people that will undercut and do things in a really poor way that's going to leave their clients in a bad position.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I encourage that because it just makes other realtors like myself that truly love the industry makes us stand out more.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's interesting. I think this is going to be a nice segue that people that sometimes feel like they're fighting against, hopefully not their realtor, but like just everything is a win-lose negotiation.
Yeah.
And the sooner they realize that they have a team of people, that your realtor is there to help and to advise, and the best interest for them is really the best interest for the realtor as well. Because if they don't successfully purchase a home, you're not on a salary, right? So you want them to find a home that's right for them, that they could stay in it. It does you no good to get them into something that isn't good for them. Then they tell the neighborhood how horrible you are. Like, that doesn't help anybody. So it is a team effort.
100%. And I feel like for any realtor, you can spend millions in marketing, right? But I still stand by it. The best marketing is word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now, being my 4th year in, I'm starting to see that a lot of the referral business come by. And it's true, because if you're going to do one person wrong, they're going to talk about you and it's not going to go well for you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I know lots of businesses, and realtors being one of them. There's lots of leaders, and sometimes just creating a good experience goes a long way.
Yeah.
So on the team aspect, I know
Okay.
you got little boys and you help coach them, and
Yeah.
like to hear how that's going.
Oh man, it's not something I thought I would ever do. Um, I made a decision when my boys were starting to play sports that I want to be at as many practices as possible,
Mhm.
and I want to try my best to not to miss any game. So my oldest started playing flag football out in Los Alamitos.
Mhm.
They have something called Friday Night Lights. It's
Yeah.
a huge thing.
Is that just a thing here? Because I don't ever remember it growing up, but it's
Mm,
big
Yeah,
here.
it's huge in Los Alamitos.
Yeah.
I know expanding out to Cypress, Garden Grove, Long Beach.
Huntington Beach for sure
They
too.
have it
Yep.
here in Huntington
Yeah.
Beach too, right? And I think it's great because it allows more kids to get into sport without having to get any traumatic, head
Yeah.
injuries.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to all the practices. I went to the games, and one of the games, the assistant coach just wasn't there. The coach was a buddy of mine and said, "Winston, you're helping." And then from there, I just ended up being assistant coach for my oldest son. Did that for about like 4 or 5 seasons, and then
Mhm.
my little one started playing. And I remember telling my wife when my little one made the decision, I said, "There's no way I'm gonna coach. Assistant coaching takes a lot of time already. I need to schedule it for work. I'm not gonna do it." And of
Mhm.
course, this little sucker, I think I remember it was one evening. He says, "Hey, Dad, would you coach my team if I play football?" And I looked him right in the eyes and said, "Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll be there."
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun times though. I mean, it's again something I never thought I would do, but
Mhm.
I am enjoying it, and I've been very fortunate to meet some really cool parents that's on the team as well.
Yeah.
So it's been cool.
The community aspect is really big. I
Yeah.
told my wife, not, I don't even think it was when we had boys, but just in general, it was like, I want my kids to play team sports.
Yeah.
There's I did some individual sports too. Like I ran track. It's just different than when you're being on a team. I mean, we have our boys in baseball, and we're starting to feel that now, where after a few seasons, there's a real community, me with the other coaches,
Yeah.
my wife with the other parents,
Yeah.
my boy with the other players.
Yeah.
Like, because you're with each other multiple days a week.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing about FNL and on that note about community is so every Friday we play at McAuliffe Field, and there's like 16 fields. So you're always gonna run into someone that you know.
Yeah.
Let it be a team member from last season or what have you. And you get to the point where you start knowing, like you mentioned, like the other coaches, even the refs. All the refs are high school kids, right? But there's some really cool like kids out there. So
Mhm.
it makes it really fun, and I think it's a great way to really bring the community together.
Yeah.
So
Have you seen, so from the start of a season to the end of the season, there's tons of development that happens, right? It's
Yeah.
really fun to see. What about year to year as they get older? How does the coaching change, and the things that you need to work on for the team and at practice? How does that change?
it's interesting because within the season, right, you'll see certain skill sets improve or become unlocked, I guess you can say.
Mhm.
But if you stay with the same team and that continues onward, the biggest change I realized is just teammates understanding each other's timing. So for passing plays now, like our quarterback knows the receiver's timing really well, and the receivers knows how well the quarterback can throw and where he can throw too.
Mhm.
So they can be running their routes, but if all of a sudden they're just covered, they can read the quarterback's like vision and eyes and make adjustments like that. So a lot of it is getting them to understand each other's timing and ability. And it's changed a lot. It's interesting. We'll have center plays, we'll trick plays, we'll do a lot of like draws, but it really comes down to the kids. I think that's the biggest difference, I feel like, from year to year going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that like the kindergarten, first grade year,
Yeah.
they start to realize there's other people around them. In the T-ball years, it's just, I can't
chaos.
even say it's controlled chaos. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
chaos,
chaos.
and they're just kind of out in their own little world. And then around that kindergarten, first grade age, they start to interact more with each other.
Yeah.
And now I noticed that it's not so much teaching them how to swing and how to throw, but how to be good teammates too.
Yeah, I think that's another part too. My youngest is in the TK kindergarten league. So we have kids who are 4, kids who are 5. And one of the things we always tell them is like, if you're gonna pull the other kid's flag, like I never want to catch you throwing on the ground, because if you do, that's poor sportsmanship. And it's great because I think all these kids are wanting to learn the sport, so they'll pull it, they'll give it back, and I think that's the cool part about it. They are learning the basics of the game, but they're also learning how to function together as a team and work together. And I think that's cool to see them develop like that as they continue.
Is part of the reason you have your boys in team sports like this because you think or know that it's going to translate into things later in life?
Oh, 100%. I feel like I never had the ability to do any team sports. Um, I don't feel like it was really that big of a thing. And plus, my parents being immigrants, they didn't know about it. They were just focused on making money and making sure the family was good. So I played tennis, but individual sport, right? Didn't really enjoy it. And then I played soccer in high school. It's not because I love soccer, but it's because I wanted to be on a team sport. And I think over time, when I got older, realizing being in groups of people was very good for just social interaction or just development, I knew I wanted my boys to do that. But yeah, you see it. Like, my oldest is very social. My youngest is a bit shy, but after team sports for a few seasons, he's good. He'll go and play with any random person and just enjoy his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've gotten into golf in this last year too. Yeah, so you're a golfer too.
Yeah.
I've realized this is a thing. So I was very resistant for a long time. And part of it was I always said if I had extra time, I wanted to play basketball.
Yeah.
And for probably several reasons that shifted over time. And somebody asked me recently, like, how much I'm going to pursue golf with my boys, because I take them out on the course and we have a really good time. It's something we enjoy to do together. But to me, the team sport is still taking priority. And if maybe in high school or later that if one of them really takes to golf and wants to do
Pursue
that, then I'm certainly not going to stop them.
Yeah.
But I feel like it is different. It's nice as an adult to get out and be social. It's a great way to network and do all those things, but it's not quite the same as like the team experience.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm there with you. I love golf. I would love my boys.
What's your
play
handicap?
Oh, dude, I haven't played in a long time.
Okay.
But I used to be like mid 80s to low 80s.
That's great. Yeah.
I would be happy if I'm in the 80s now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while since I played, just family and work.
Right.
But going back to it, yeah, no, I agree. Like, I think it's great that they are in team sports, but it's even for golf these days. I'm not sure if you follow something like these junior PGA programs or even like the high school like programs. It's a lot more team-esque than is individual. There's a lot of just scrambles that they play together. There's a lot of relying on someone. And I think that's like the really unique aspect of how that sport is evolving to get more kids to be interacting with each other. But I still agree, it doesn't beat like a 5-on-5 basketball game where everyone needs to really.
There's a one ball.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
And learning how to distribute and to work together with the one ball. There is something I think different about it.
Yeah, because you can have the best game of your life, right? If you're playing like a pickup game, but if the other four is not there, you're gonna be with the other four. So it's either you find a way to get all your teammates like mindset to be better, spirits up, so you guys can compete, or you just kind of lose, right? So, but yeah, I think the team aspect is really great.
Yeah. I saw a stat recently that said that 95% of Fortune 500 CEOs played team sports growing up.
Really?
Yeah. And
interesting.
If that's true, then it's not a huge surprise to me, because I think that one of the differences of being in the workforce compared to what you experience earlier in life, like in school and even a team sport, is that the team sports in school are much more finite. You have a season, you have a quarter of school, right? And then you're on to the next thing. Where in business, you're at this for the next 30 years or whatever that number is. It's a much larger number. So the ability to get along on a daily basis with the people that you have to rely on, like, that's a big part of the skill that you have to have.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more. And I think it's not just... most people I feel that are successful, regardless of what industry, they know how to adapt and talk to people. And I think that's like one of the biggest assets. And I think it's something where, for me, I would want my boys to kind of have that skill set.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. It's a season of practice. You're grinding it out. Practice on this day, games on this day, recover, work out, repeat. But then when that certain month comes and it's the last game, you're done,
Right.
right? Even for school, right? Like as a kid, like if you're in first grade, you're worried about school starts in August, then it's Christmas, then it's New Year, then spring break, and I'm done in June, right? So it's always something that they look forward to when it ends. But when you get into the working field or area, you're right. The grind's like for 30 plus years,
Right.
right? If we're lucky, maybe we'll be done at 30 years, right?
Yeah.
And within that time, I think it is important where people learn how to compensate and change in a sense to make it be helpful for them. Adapting, I think that's the best way to kind of put it. Like for me, I told my wife, Jenny, once the boys are of age, they're working, right? But I don't want them to work like random jobs. I want them to be in the service industry. When I was 15, I started working in the service industry. And I think that was probably where it kicked me off in learning how to deal with different personalities.
I'm laughing because we've been living parallel lives, but keep going.
But mind you, I went from working at a smoothie kiosk, right, in the mall, and then I worked at Papa John's for a little bit, and the rest of high school I was at Starbucks. And after Starbucks, I was in college. I was a waiter at a sushi restaurant. And I think what's interesting about all of that is, especially at Starbucks, you can have people come in, they're great. Hey, Mike, what's going on? What do you want? Write it down. You can have people come in having a horrible day that gives you attitude for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I was in high school, I would take offense to that because I was so young and dumb. It's like, why is this guy so mean to me?
Yeah.
And then over time, you realize you didn't do anything. He's just having a bad day, and unfortunately, you're getting it, right?
Yeah.
And that really got me to start understanding different point of views, not really worrying about things and trying to change the mindset of he's not upset at me. He's just having a bad day. Maybe I should give him a smile and say, hey, I'll give you a free shot on the house or whatever it is. And just adapting and figuring out the situation was very helpful. And then I think that's why probably I'm in sales. It's because of all that, like leading up to it.
My first job was at Applebee's when I was 15.
Nice.
And then I worked fine dining in college. And one of my coworkers, he was older because like in that dining, you could make it a career, right?
Yeah.
But he had a Russian wife, and he said that in Russia, you're required to serve in the military for at least 2 years.
Okay.
And he said in America, he thinks that people should be forced to serve tables for 2 years. And because of all the things that you just said, right? And I remember like at Applebee's, I don't know, you have 200 people come through the door in a night. And what really stuck out to me were the people that were just overtly nice. And I think that for at least a period of my life, I would try to be that way. It's like, I want to be the person that when I come through the door, like people remember how nice I was to you.
You always remember the nicest person, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have a few friends that are just always nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this wasn't too long ago. I have like a really bad like resting like bee face.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it on purpose, but if you catch me like, let's say I'm eating lunch by myself, you'll probably walk by like, why is Winston so upset today? But I think that's naturally how I am.
Yeah.
So I remember I tried making a point of trying to walk while I smile, because you're right. Whenever people meet nice people, they always stick out.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're never going to remember the person that was mean to you, right?
Well, you may, but not for good reasons.
Yeah, not for good reasons.
Yeah.
But the person that's nice always stands out, right?
Yeah.
You're always going to remember that individual.
Yeah.
So no, I agree. There's some people I've met while at Starbucks. I'm like, how are you so happy? Like, I want to be as happy as you are,
Why would
right?
you have it? Yeah.
Yeah, you are happy right now. So, no, I completely agree.
I had a little talk with my son this morning about how you attract more bees with honey than vinegar. And it's a good lesson for sure. Well, dude, this has been a lot of fun.
This is awesome.
If you have just one piece of advice to somebody that's interested in real estate in 2026, what would it be?
Patience, and be genuine. Be yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Everyone's great at what they do, right? So find a way to stand out. And instead of trying to copy what everyone else is doing, find what your niche is, be genuine, and go in with a mindset of wanting to help. And I think if you do all that, the transparency of who you are is going to stand out, especially if you're going to try to be heavy on social media. Because the way I look at it and the way I post is, if my own friends and family won't believe me, why would this individual that doesn't know me believe me? So, but yeah, be genuine, be patient. It's worth it.
Yeah.
You know, you meet some cool people.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Where can people find you?
Instagram. So really big on Instagram right now. We're posting a lot on YouTube as well for our team, Sackin Stone Team. But yeah, mainly Instagram. And
you know your handle off the top?
Oh yes, Winston _Yeh. I think that's what it's just my name. You type me in, you see my headshot where I don't have as many grays because they photoshopped it out.
Okay. We just had team photos and I made the same comment. I was like, who's that old guy? Anyway. Well, thanks again for being
awesome.
here.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
And until next time in the Mortgage Lounge, be well.